was never seen again. William immediately stopped drinking and opened up a grocery store in the town. He brought up Tia by himself, but brought her up well. Next door lived the Day family, and they had a son called Toby. As they grew up, Toby and Tia fell in love. They went for walks and picnics and were an absolutely lovely couple. Once they got old enough, they then also started working with William in his grocery store. Everything was fine until one morning the newspaper arrived. Tia opened it, and to her shock, the front page said that a woman had had her throat slit and her body dismembered with a saw. She told William, and when she saw Toby, she told him too, and they'd already read about it. What an awful thing to happen, especially there, because there was very little crime. It was on the news later as well that, the woman had been murdered, and the police were looking for a suspect, but they never found anybody. About 6 months later, again the newspaper arrives. Tia picks it up, and again another woman had been murdered, her throat slit and her body dismembered. Again, she was in shock, everyone was. Again, it was on the news that night. It was just such a terrible thing. No one had heard of anything like that happening there. Nothing happened then. But the following year, again the newspaper arrived on the doorstep. Tia picked it up, and again the horrible headline: another woman murdered. The woman once again had had her throat slit and her body dismembered. The police say it's probably been cut up by a hacksaw. There's no fingerprints or anything, so the killer probably wore gloves too. They interviewed the residents around the island, but they never come up with anything. A few years later, William became really sick and died peacefully in his bed one evening with Tia and Toby by his side. The Day family were very comforting to Tia and helped her arrange a funeral for William. The funeral went well, everything was fine. Tia and Toby carried on running the grocery store. A couple of years later, Toby and Tia got married and had a baby, a little boy, who Tia named William in memory of her father. They loved this house, however it was very, very small, and they needed somewhere bigger to live. So they finally found a house that was bigger than their one, so there was a lot more room for little William to run around in. They started clearing out the house, and in William's bedroom was a big closet. Tia went in the closet and started clearing out all of the stuff that was in it, which was mostly junk. sudden, on top of the shelf was a big suitcase. So Tia pulled it down, put it on the bed. She could hear that there was something in it. So the suitcase had a padlock on it. So she called Toby, who was helping downstairs. And he came up and said, "What's the matter?" She said, "I found this suitcase." She said, "There's something in it, but it's got a padlock on it." Toby then said, "Well, wait there. I'll go back to my parents' house and get a hammer from my dad's toolbox." He came back about 2 minutes later and he hit the padlock 3 times. On the third hit, the padlock finally broke. Tia then opened the suitcase and froze in horror at what was in it. Inside the suitcase, just kidding. Inside the suitcase was a pair of leather blood-soaked gloves, a blood-soaked hacksaw, and a blood-soaked butcher's knife. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. I hope you liked that one, Chelsea. It came to me the early hours of the morning last night when I was in bed, and I thought, oh, I've got to record it quick before I forget. You know, these ideas always come to me in the middle of the night. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will leave you all now with this wonderful ambience. Enjoy the thunder and the rain and the lightning. It's a wonderful stormy night, and hopefully this will help you sleep and relax now. I will be back very, very soon, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, have yourself